I kept hearing about this game everywhere, so I finally gave in and I decided to try it out. I queued a few games and honestly, I had a lot of fun. Then I checked my clock and holy shit, I've been playing for 5 hours. Hi everyone, my name is Ezekiel Aethalis. I play a lot of FPS and horror games on Twitch. Today I wanted to give my initial thoughts on this game and how I think it might develop. Of course, when we're talking about this game, we have to address the allegations. I know everyone loves to compare this game to Overwatch, and I see why. There are a bunch of similarities between the games, from the character abilities all the way to the match objectives. But I honestly think the game is different enough that it doesn't feel like I'm playing some direct ripoff. The characters' abilities make sense to who they are outside of this game, not like they're directly copying from Overwatch. Also, Overwatch is not the first or only game to use escort the payload and capture the objective style matches. It simply did it well, so it is the most known for it. Is Marvel Rivals going to kill Overwatch? No, I don't think so. But what it is competition. When there is competition in the same space in gaming like this, what it hopefully is going to do is create pressure for both games to continue improving themselves. They can no longer sit comfortably. My point is, yes, the games are similar, but they are different enough that this game feels fresh and fun. It's not some cheap knockoff. It's an expensive knockoff. The first thing I noticed about this game was the size of its roster. Overwatch launched with 21 heroes, only making it to 42 years after release. Valorant started with only 10, and Apex started with 8. Rivals has a whopping 33 characters to pick from on release. This roster size, I think, is partially due to Marvel being an already established universe. There are hundreds of characters to pick from, with the character design mostly done for you. Even coming up with abilities takes less effort, as characters' in-world abilities are simply translated into the game's mechanics. Not only this, but I can already see the hype for new characters amongst Marvel fans. These characters are already developed, known, and loved by many. We do not need to learn about these characters or grow attachment to them if you're already a Marvel fan in any regard. This could make for some insanely hype character announcements that I'm genuinely very excited to see. I think the biggest one I want to see is Deadpool. I'm imagining some sort of fourth wall breaking ability where he grabs your screen to fuck with you. I'm sure it would be a blast for the developers to design and for us to play. Gambit is another one I'd love to see. He could throw explosive cards as a primary and even have his bow staff as a melee weapon. But there are so many others out there. If you guys have any particular character you want to see, share it down in the comments. I would love to see your guys' ideas for new characters and abilities. Enough glazing Marvel though, let's talk about the gameplay. The size of the roster raised concerns for me. How the hell could they balance this many characters for release? There had to be someone that's ridiculously broken, right? Honestly, if there is, I haven't found them yet. If you ask two different people who they think is broken, you'll likely get two different answers. I see a lot of people with conflicting opinions on this so far. The game did just release, and metas will take a while to settle. Such a big roster does help this, though. But honestly, everything to me feels pretty broken, so nothing is broken. Hela does insane damage on headshots, especially with her 20% damage boost when you are playing with a Thor or Loki. But headshots are harder to hit. However, due to this, Hela is currently dominating in higher elos, as skillful aim is a lot more common in players of that level. Besides Hawkeye, after you're aiming at your targets for a couple seconds, most characters don't have the ability to one-shot, instead giving the one-shot potential purely to ultimates. Besides that, ability chaining is one of the only ways to guarantee a solo kill. Not only this, but the supports are actually unique in identity and fun to play. I'd want to bash my head against a wall even playing Kiriko in Overwatch, but I've thoroughly enjoyed every support I've tried so far. Luna Snow is another character I've been seeing a lot of because she can do some big numbers. Supports in this game are a lot higher impact, I noticed, from Overwatch, and so playing supports like Luna makes it feel like you're actually doing something. You're not just heal botting. There are plenty of busted abilities in the game, but there are enough of them that no one character has risen above the others quite yet. And even as the meta begins to settle, and people are finding that characters like Hela, Hawkeye are insanely broken, in Diamond and above, there are character bans. This game feels very casual, but it is an insanely fun casual experience. It's not a bad thing to appeal to a casual audience if that's what the game wants to do. The competitive scene may suffer for it, but for that, we will have to wait and see. The aiming in this game has an insanely high skill ceiling, which I love. Tracking these speedy little characters with the hitbox of a toothpick is really challenging in a way that makes me want to play more. I thought that the third-person perspective would throw me off as an FPS player, as games like Fortnite usually take adjusting for me. But thanks to Widow, I didn't even notice the switch. Even when I branched out to other characters like Hela, I never really minded it. There is no crouching and little variance in speed, leaving the movement of this game purely to strafes. No crouch spamming or crazy movement text, just your character's abilities and your strafes. There is an insane amount of verticality in this game as well, adding to the difficulty. I, as a player, absolutely adore vertical tracking. I was one of those popcorn-goated enjoyer freaks. If you know, you know. It adds a whole new dimension to the game, a new layer of difficulty. It feels insanely rewarding to land those flicks and track these speedy little targets. And yet, despite how hard this can prove to be, it still manages to be a fun, casual experience. We will have to see how the competitive scene develops, but I honestly think this game has achieved a good balance of accessibility and challenge. I have seen some weird shenanigans with the aim when it comes to specific abilities, especially in melee or close-range encounters. Or everyone's favorite, Scarlet Witch. Links are posted this video on Twitter that showcases some wacky crosshair shenanigans.
Okay, look how far I am aiming. I'm literally aiming like an entire body, and I am perfectly on her. Do you see how, like, if I'm aiming at the most left side of her, it misses. I think that's why a lot of people struggle in this game.
Another video shows Punisher fighting someone that, despite being on his crosshair, is positioned slightly to the right of his character, making him miss. There are some kinks to work out, but my personal experience has not yet been affected by these. Except Scarlet Witch. From the moment I opened the game, the visual design had my full attention. From the comic book effects they achieved on the models and their animations, to the fully fledged animations that open each map, this game pulled no punches with the art. And the highlight intros? The basic non-paid versions of highlight intros in Overwatch are like,
I put my hands on my hips and I smile at you.
Meanwhile, this game is like, I do a triple backflip with an insane dynamic camera angle, stick the landing, and shoot you in the face. Overall, I love the comic book motif. The colors, the fonts, everything works really well together to sell the experience. Even the rank badges have the effect I'm talking about. It's honestly scary that I haven't found much to complain about yet. Most new games I try have some trouble areas that make it hard to want to continue, but this game has truly been nothing but fun. Toxic, yes. Frustrating? Absolutely. But overall, a blast to play. I am really excited to see how this game develops, especially as the rank and competitive scenes emerge. If you watched the video to this point, do me a favor and go play the game. Thank you for hearing me out. If you'd like to watch my rank climb, I'll be streaming it live on my Twitch channel in the description. If you guys want to see more content about Marvel Rivals in the future, do be sure to leave me a comment, let me know, and subscribe to stay tuned for future updates. Thank you guys so much, and see you in the next one.